through the woods. There's no one around. Your phone is dead. And out of the corner of your eye, you spot him. The Jap! Hi guys, I'm Tim. This is Flipper Flicks.
Dang.
And, that's the Shia LaBeouf song. That's what I was looking for that whole time. And obviously the Jap is from our movie, which you'll see here in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm gonna.
That's not how we. That's not how we roll. Sam and I were like, "Wait, what?"
It's from the movie.
I know.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah. He said his name. He said we're Flipper Flicks.
Are you going down the checklist?
He is.
Yeah, so I'm up.
He's lit.
I'm Adam, and we're on social media.
Are we?
Not always.
Okay.
Yeah, we've let up a bit.
Yeah.
It's been a rough couple weeks, months.
Years.
No, I mean, we've been around for 2 years now, almost.
Yeah, so we've garnered the right to just give up a little bit on social media. Anywho.
But we're at Flipper Flicks on Instagram and Twitter, and then you can go to our website to recommend movies at www.flipperflix.com.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Boom. That's it. And yeah, so if you have a movie, you're like, hey guys, I think you should watch this movie about a fly assassinating people. I'll be like, that sounds very intriguing. So I'm going to jot that down.
Jot that down.
Anywhere that you can work in that movie recommendation, you do. So I'm interested to see when we finally watch it.
It's going to be the next Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
I think so.
But yeah, you can rate us on Apple Podcasts or Good Pods or Breaker or other podcasting platforms where you can catch us at 1 p.m. Eastern Time Zone.
Yeah.
On Thursdays.
True.
Kaboom.
You did it.
I did it.
Yay.
And now Sam's up. What movie did we see this week?
So, we spun a branching out, and so I chose
A branching out film.
The Wailing because it was on my list. I very much remember the cover and seeing it because I'm one of those people that'll scroll through streaming services, and I don't even have to watch something, but I feel fulfilled just scrolling through streaming services.
Oh my gosh.
And so this was one of those nights where I was just scrolling and I was like, oh, and
That's a movie?
Yeah, I read the synopsis and I was like, oh, I got to put that on for the podcast. So the synopsis is, suspicion leads to hysteria when rural villagers link a series of brutal murders to the arrival of a mysterious stranger. So this one was a branching out one for me because, I'll watch scary movies when Tim makes us. But, I like light horror movies,
right.
not full-on horror movies. And so I don't know if I had heard that this was good or if it was just in my binge scrolling that I was like, that looks good. So I will consider that a branching out because I knew that Adam wouldn't want to watch it.
Nope.
And I was like, this looks right up Tim's alley. So I can't say it was branching out for all of us, but it was at least branching out for two of us, which is why it got chosen. So.
It's also a South Korean film.
Yeah.
Branching out from our standard English-speaking films.
Yeah, but is it really branching out because is Bong South
Bong
Korean?
yeah.
So then it's not really branching out.
It's not super branching out, but it's it isn't. It isn't because Bong's exclusively what we Korean
Bong,
are bong. So
outside of Bong Joon-ho, what other Korean films have you seen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and he does Hollywood-esque films with Snowpiercer.
Yeah, but at the same time, doesn't he kind of have these horror-y, thriller-y ones?
Yeah, Mother is supposed to be scary, I think.
Don't know.
Tim?
Yes, it's supposed to be.
I don't know if the host was supposed to be.
I feel like it was.
Kinda, yeah, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Big monster movies aren't scary to me.
They're their own category for me, but I think technically it is supposed to be a horror.
But yeah, so Sam, what were you expecting with The Wailing?
Well, okay, so I misread this, I guess, because I was expecting it to be a thriller. I was jazzed. I like thrillers.
It literally is listed as a thriller.
Yeah. And then when I read the mysterious murders, I missed the whole there's a haunting thing because I definitely wouldn't have picked it if I knew it was a haunting. Those are a no-go for me. I hate those movies. And so I was expecting some like random dude to be like a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed the mark on that one. Anywho, Tim, what were you expecting?
Well, you know, I
He
did
brought it in.
Nice.
I did read the
Synopsis?
the synopsis, and did I watch the trailer? I think I did. Yeah, we watched the trailer.
I think we all watched it
So
together.
I wasn't really sure. Like, it didn't say a lot, but I knew it was something about like some Japanese dude or whatever. Like they said something about, you know, if he's around, he's stalking you, and I knew it had something to do with like Ghost or something because of the trailer.
Ghouls?
So I was like, this sounds like a Korean horror movie. I'm down to clown. So yeah, as far as branching out goes,
This is
not
for Tim.
quite as much, but
Yeah.
you know, we'll go
You
with
like
it.
the ghouls?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
with
he's
the
a ghoul,
ghouls.
guys.
I'm
He's a
done.
ghoul. I mean, we found a couple.
We found a couple ghouls.
So as far as I go, though, let's just start with, once we found out it was about possession, I knew I wasn't going to sleep that night. Not because of myself, but being woken that the wind blew a little loudly at night.
Okay, it was
was
really
blustery.
loud last night. It wasn't just like a branch fell over. It was like a sizable amount of howling was happening last
There
night.
was a lot of wind. It was kind of funny. There was at one point, Tim, we had to watch the whatever we were watching afterwards. We had to like pause it because Sam was determined that something was in the house.
Yeah.
You know what it was? The wind.
Of course, always.
But I didn't know that going into this film. I didn't know it was full on possession. And it was a horror film, so I was like, oh great, this is gonna be great. I got my hand ready to block the screen. And I did do that, I will say that. Because I know that there are going to be jump scares, and I just don't need to be jump scared. I don't enjoy jump scares.
Yeah.
But I will say, I expected a very long movie once I turned it on and I read that, I read how long that film is.
Yeah.
It's like 2.5 hours, and I was like, oh boy, because we had just finished the Two Towers extended edition, so we had just sat down for 4 hours,
Yeah.
and then we did 2.5 hours after that.
Nice.
Well, I will say, though, even though it was a horror movie, and so I was ready to tackle that in whatever way was going to work for us, I was excited because, Tim, when you were Googling, you found, like, the Wailing ending explained.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that gets all of us hyped a little bit.
Right.
Like, if you had to explain an ending, we're like, oh, shit, that's my type of movie.
Right.
I'm
and
intrigued.
I was like, back out, no spoilers. Like, because I thought it was the trailer, and I started to play
Oh,
it.
I remember. Yeah, you
I was
hit,
like,
you hit the
no.
wrong YouTube video.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So there's that.
But yeah, so spoilers. Because
It was on Amazon Prime?
it was on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Crackle. So you can go poop your pants for free with Tubi.
Just make sure you wear your brown pants.
Yeah, wear your brown pants that day.
It'll be fine.
But Tim, did you watch it on Prime as well?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Go ahead, Sam.
I just said noise.
Noise. Okay. Anyways, I want to know, how is your subtitle experience with Amazon Prime? Because mine is garbage.
Me or Tim?
Yeah.
I know yours.
I was gonna say,
I know Sam's. I know Sam's, but I'm curious if your TV, like, or wherever you watched it, was
I
a
don't
struggle
have
like
issues
ours.
with it. I don't know what was your issue.
What's your issue?
You didn't say. I thought it was more of your issue too. Okay, when the credits roll in and people are talking, it doesn't know which one to translate
Oh, yeah.
at the beginning of the film.
So, yeah, it depends on how the film is set up. If it automatically has subtitles on, because if it does, that doesn't happen. Well, and you turn subtitles on, that'll happen. If you have your subtitles off and theirs is on, like automatically, it's weird, but I know what you're talking about because, just happened to watch another foreign movie after this, so yeah, and it had that issue, and I had to turn them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. It was annoying for me because I was like,
Yeah, it's very
I
annoying.
just want to know what the fuck they're saying.
Uh huh.
Yeah. And you couldn't.
And then Sam chose to put on the yellow.
Yeah.
font for a bit, and I was like, I can't do
Adam's
this.
like, I
Yeah.
hate this. I'm
This is
changing it.
awful.
And I was
Also-
like, it doesn't matter.
When searching this film, did you guys type in the Wailing or the Wailing? Because I definitely typed in WHALING.
Tim's going out to sea.
Wait, hold
Tim
on.
is out to sea.
I'm sure there were some interesting documentaries or some shit
I
under
was like,
that.
that ain't right. What the fuck's going on?
You're like watching Blow the Man Down again.
I thought this was a different film.
Nah, we typed it in the correct way. But I could see that being a problem.
Yeah. Oh, also there was a couple misspellings at the beginning of the film. Like they misspelled the word doubt,
Yeah.
and Sam was just laughing.
And they like dropped off a letter during the sex scene. I forget what it was, but it was like instead
It was
of
like, damn.
tan, it was like Anne. And I was like that.
It
come
was
on.
damn. They just forgot the D in front of damn.
Yeah, it was like Amn. I was like, what the hell? Give me the D.
Give me that D.
Anyway,
This film is crazy from the get-go.
yeah.
Just a tad.
So I went. It is it?
Yeah.
Hold
There's
up.
a dude with boils and shit.
Oh
on
shit,
his
that
face.
does happen right away, doesn't it? And he's
Yeah.
like munching things.
Yeah, and the sergeant is not handling this well.
Nah, he's real confused.
Dude,
Jingu.
the whole time he's just like,
Zhonggu.
oh, I couldn't stand him. Could not
Yeah.
stand him the whole time.
He was just like noping the fuck out on situation. He just seemed so lazy.
Yeah, the classic trope of like the lazy cop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which Tim calls out a lot.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, but it was so weird. And then so they're going through this, there was a fire or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the fire from the candles that the dude lights.
I think so. I don't know. That wasn't in my thesis that I read.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Only because all the houses were burning.
Yeah.
I
Like, it
think
was
that
a
was just
normal
kind of like
thing.
a thing that happened as everything escalated. Escalated.
Escalators!
I think that's how it just ends up. Like they end up, the people that go crazy end up burning everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, in addition to stabbing people a million times.
20 times in
Let's
the chest.
also catch the house on fire. It's a
Right.
solid.
A2
plan.
Brute?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, they're just chilling in the station and a naked lady comes up out of nowhere.
Yeah, so, like, the beginning's a little bit more unresolved, I feel like, than the rest of the movie as you get further in. Because, like, doesn't he also, in the beginning, find, like, a nest or some shit?
Dude, yeah, there was definitely
Yeah.
a nest.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know that that ever shows up again. Right?
It had something to do with the crows.
Yeah. So there's like this guy outside who the guy that was burnt killed him, right? He was the first like possessed dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, it's totally mushrooms."
Yeah, they're just like, he's fucking high on mushrooms. All right.
Yeah.
Sure,
Bro,
dog.
Have you ever been high on mushrooms?
Yeah.
Sure.
And then- Yeah. As they're like saying that that's the theory, they're in the police station and the naked lady shows up. And
They freaked the fuck out.
well,
sure
yeah,
did.
it was like storming and she's just like sitting there like
She was
crazy
burnt,
person.
right? Or was
No,
she
I
just
think she was
naked?
normal at night. It was the next day or later that night she was burnt.
Later night or day.
Yeah.
Her incident happened later on, yeah. But I
Yeah.
think she was
Yeah.
already possessed out the wazoo at that point.
Out the wazoo.
Yeah, and it's like that one in particular was claimed to be raped by the Japanese man.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so real quick, as Tim alluded to the beginning, they call this Japanese man the Jap,
Yeah, they call him the Jap the whole time.
which I assume is a derogatory term, but I don't actually
Maybe,
know.
but I don't know the culture well enough to.
Right, I know. I know that there's some animosity from World War II with Japan and Korea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in the countrysides, it's more likely to still exist.
I would imagine there's some little bit
Yeah.
of it, yeah.
Well, and they were like a little bit overly invested in the fact that it was him.
They were like,
Right.
dude, he's foreign. It's definitely him.
Yeah, like
That guy over there,
So-
yes. Yeah.
He looks a little
That's what
different
that
than
felt
us.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely what that.
A lot of shit
But-
going on in that situation.
Yeah, and like so like he supposedly raped the girl. I don't know. I can't tell in this story.
They don't really go into it.
I know, it's weird. But we eventually find a rock throwing lady.
Yeah, and she throws like a shit ton of rocks.
Not just like 2 or 3.
Like when they were like when he first
they
meets
find another place was murdered.
Yeah, and this lady shows up and she's like, "Oh, what did she say? The old lady next door said that it's the Japanese man and he's gonna suck your blood dry." And I'm like, "Is he a fucking vampire? Like, what's happening?"
Boo hag.
And then but the shaman will like fix it, and these people didn't have the shaman, which is interesting later on.
Are we certain that's what she said?
Yeah. She's talking about how they didn't have a shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they had a bad shaman.
Yeah. That's where that... I'd like... Okay, so I'm going to get into that a little bit. So, like, clearly later on, when the main guy's daughter is getting haunted, they call in the shaman. And why I assume they did that is because she had said, like, previously, they didn't follow the old lady's direction and call the shaman.
Oh, that was actually the grandma said we need to call a shaman.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that, like, I thought that part of the reason he did that was because the lady in white had said, like, oh, they didn't do that.
Mysterious woman.
You're both correct. I just want to point out.
Okay.
Yes. We argue the same point a lot.
Yeah. And so, I don't know where I was going with that, because also in the beginning of the film that I don't think that we've quite brought up yet is that people have visions of, like, the guy with red eyes.
Yeah, they like dream.
The Japanese man.
Yeah, it is him.
Like eating animals, deer in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that one guy. Does he ever come back?
You mean the dude that got struck by fucking lightning?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we don't see him again.
He just stumbles down.
He got burned all up.
Yeah. So there's like kind of a reoccurring thing of like fire here for a little bit that goes away.
I know.
Which is odd.
He was going to get them fired, and then he was struck by lightning.
Yeah.
The fuck?
But I will say, like, interspersed in the beginning, like, the town is really pretty. Like, it's a real town, by the way.
And it's really called, like, the Whale.
Yeah, I forget what the translation of the Korean name is, but it's, like, it's known for, like, having spirituality and stuff like that. Like, it's very prominent there.
Something, you lay on the grass, and it looks like the mountains are moving.
Yeah, some shit like that. And so part of the reason why they did so many mountain shots, the director did, was because it like kind of tries to capture that vibe. Yeah. But I was like, ooh, it's so pretty. The mountains are pretty. And then as the film goes on, I'm like, I hate this. I don't want to live here. I was like, I could totally live here. Nope, not living here anymore.
Yeah. So going along with that, I thought their house was cool because it was like split up. It was like a little district almost for themselves.
Yeah, they like had their... Did they have a farm? I don't know. They had a lot of buildings. They had
like 4 houses.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that at first.
They had like a compound.
That's the good word for it. And that really messed me up because at the beginning, you see this woman just washboarding out there. Mm-hmm. And then they go bang in a car, and I didn't realize that was his mom. That was his wife. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how's this cheating gonna come into play here?
Yeah, you're like, wait, I thought I was watching a horror movie. Like, what's happening?
Yeah. I think I might have just been confused there, not knowing that, because Sam didn't seem like... She was like, I knew that was his wife.
Yeah. Well, I guess the way that they showed it, like, I had noticed her earlier, but yeah, like, to your point, she was, like, out washing stuff. So I could see how you could think it was somebody else. But
I don't know about you, Tim.
Yeah, what about you, Tim?
Did I recognize that it was his wife?
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Okay.
You were just writing down something. We'll just call it that.
Yeah, sure.
Or you were paying attention to the subtitles.
You looked away briefly.
Yeah.
It's easy to do that.
But I will say that was really funny when the daughter ends up at the window and the dude like immediately sprints out of the car.
Yeah, he's like, I fix it.
He's gone in a second.
Holy shit.
And so at this point, I'm kind of like, all right, I'm on board with this horror movie. There's a little bit of comedy involved.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's still kind of like you got the bumbling cops, you got him sprinting out of the car when his daughter shows up after having sex. Like, all stuff that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts to go downhill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. Are you talking about how they decided to go visit the Japanese man's house? And fucking Cujo was out there?
Yeah.
Is that what happens next? Or do they go to
Well,
the hospital first and see that guy crack his neck open?
Oh, yeah.
Both were equally scarring.
Yeah, that
They-
was rough.
The guy cracked his neck off. The reason I know that is because they were there bringing in the lightning guy.
Oh, yes.
All right.
And they're like, I
they
guess
were
we
like,
should go up
this
to
guy over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first murderer victim.
Right.
Murderer victim. That sounds
Oh.
weird to say.
And at this point, do they know about the rash?
They can just notice it.
Yeah.
Because he sees it on like another woman
Mm-hmm.
later, and they're the ones who actually get the shaman to do a ritual as well. But when they get up there, they bring the deacon,
Yeah. Like his cousin, his partner's
his
cousin?
nephew.
Yeah, something like
His
that.
partner's nephew speaks a little Japanese.
So naturally.
Naturally, you bring up him. Yeah. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. that
I
was-
didn't realize. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just thinking about that too, because in the moment I had like the same like, they just like, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, like the beginning of the movie has a quote from the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't I didn't realize this, that like there's a good chunk of like South Korea that is actually Christian,
Yeah.
because it's not what you think of when you think of a Southeast Asian culture.
No, but
But it's more prominent than even Buddhism out there.
So there you go.
So
interesting.
there you go. There's a little knowledge, but most of the population is not religious. It's just like 46% is religious.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked up the statistics because it was intriguing.
Nice.
Yeah, Deacon speaks Japanese. They bring him just in case.
Right.
Cujo gets loose.
How does How the fuck does that dog bite him? Like, why did he get close to that dog?
I don't know.
I think he even asked, like, why are you close? Like,
Yeah,
why are you
you
next to the
messing around
dog?
with a
Like, what's
dog?
happening?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a good question. And then the partner just opens his photo door, and it's like
his shrine room.
his shrine. Also, at one point, they're like looking for evidence, and he has the fucking what are the pictures before, like the film.
The negatives.
Yeah, he had the negatives just hanging around everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty clear evidence to me, but
Yeah.
But see, that's where I started having suspicion.
Okay.
Is that where
Give it
you
to us.
guys did? Because I was like, that's your first like big, yeah, this is like our guy, but not our guy, right? Like I
Dude.
saw that in all the stuff that was going on, and I was like, okay, so this guy either is the big baddie, or he's trying to fix everything,
yes.
and that's why he's a foreigner. He's like following this stuff around. So that's where I started getting my suspicion from.
Halfway through this movie, a Japanese dude gonna be a shaman chasing the demon,
Right.
like
Yeah.
because he was like, I travel, I'm a traveler.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like his only reason for showing up.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, maybe I was wrong.
But he has the daughter's shoe.
See, I thought that was like a spiritual attachment. It is a spiritual
It
attachment,
is, yeah.
Mhm.
but I thought it was to like try and save her, kind of like the woman in white.
Yeah.
They
True.
both do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. They're like mirrors.
I did think the woman in white at one point was like her being in white, which is typically like symbolic of good.
Right.
Mhm.
I thought that was like a red herring.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I was wrong again.
Well, you definitely get sown some seeds of doubt when the guy runs off the cliffside and the woman in white like watches him basically
Right.
and
Yeah.
like chases him, and so I think that was like your moment to be like, is she good?
Yeah, there was some suspicion there. You're just like, I don't know about this.
Also, dude, you can't kill a dog.
No,
That's like a no-no in movies.
especially not like brutally like that.
Yeah.
Right.
That was rough. And
Did you not learn anything from the butterfly effect?
Or John Wick.
Or John Wick.
I can't think of another movie with a dead dog, but I'm sure there are plenty.
They keep it to a minimum.
Yeah. But along this point where he has the shoe from the cottage, if you want to call it that.
Compound.
He gets home and his daughter, she about starts freaking out at this point. How a guy...
She's eating everything.
Yeah, she's eating everything, and she says, like, a guy is at the door. Like, she was having nightmares. And then I think the main dad was having nightmares, or he had already had nightmares at this point.
He had already had them.
Yeah. And so, like, at this point, we're 45 minutes in, and I'm sufficiently spooked and ready to be like, yeah, I don't need to finish the rest of this movie.
I'm going to tell you now, Tim, she did contemplate turning it off.
Yeah, I was like, I could just read a synopsis for the rest of this movie,
Yeah.
because it's starting to get spooky for me.
Starting to get a little...
Yeah. And then, I don't know how we get to the shaman. Like, does the daughter get progressively worse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does.
And they're like, we got to take her to a shaman.
Yeah.
We got to get a shaman up in this Hizé.
And so, like, during his exorcism scene...
With his thousands of knives?
His thousands of knives, his hanging meat, and all of the, like, banging and the drums and the bells and stuff, that kind of reminded me of Midsummer, because it was, like, a sensory overload. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just felt like it was, like, so much to take in. I was like,
Yeah.
I hate this.
Sam did it.
Like, it's just too stressful. There's too much bouncing around.
If it makes
in
you
my
feel
head.
better, that shaman filmed that scene for 15 minutes straight without a break.
Damn.
That actor. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was, like, jumping around and shit, too.
That's
I
pretty
know.
crazy.
That's very impressive.
One take.
I'm impressed.
I don't know if he did it in one take, but
You go, shaman.
Il Guang is the character name.
Mm-hmm.
But Sam, now Tim, did you notice that he cut down a totem?
Yes.
Okay, Sam, I'll let you talk about your totem.
So, during this, he drives stakes into the totem, right? And so,
Right.
did you notice how the dudeski was also doing his own ritual?
Yeah.
And did you think he was hurting him? Like, based on the way the cuts were?
Sure, it kind of seemed that way. I was trying to really figure out what was going on because I was like, okay, so there's like this dude in the car, he's trying to do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
Right.
still on the fence, and I was like, well, maybe he's trying to hold something off, and the shaman is bad. So that's where my thought was coming from now.
Tim, that's exactly where I was, too.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's exercising this dude that's in the car to get the demon out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were, like, super mirrored.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like, they both had the bells, and they were both clearly doing a ritual.
They had
Well-
dead animals hanging.
Yeah. Come to find out that the totem in...
The
like
compound.
their culture, they have these totems in the town, which are like their spiritual guardians. So, like, had we have been educated in the culture, we would know the shaman was a baddie, because you're not going to drive a stake into the guardian of the land,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
Like, that's like,
Like,
a,
if you
a big, like, holy shit moment. And then this was all came from the dissertation that I read. I didn't catch any of this. I was just like, oh, that's like oddly mirrored. And then supposedly the old man was doing a ritual where he was transferring the demon from his body into the guy in the car, which is why he becomes a zombie. And then the guy in the car's like soul or whatever goes into the old man. So later when we see the old man running around and being chased, it's like that Park Bong-joon guy or whatever.
Yeah.
So they actually throw that guy off the cliff.
Yeah, so the guy that they were chasing the whole time
Uh-huh.
wasn't the Japanese demon dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was somebody else.
It was the guy from the truck. And I was like,
Interesting.
no, I know.
Yeah, also if you look at a quick still of the that park dude, like he had a party
Yeah.
beforehand and he had all the daggers and knives hanging around. So he had just had a shaman come over to his place too. Crazy.
Yeah, which I don't think you really see that towards till the end, right? Because you've seen all the stuff that the shaman brought over, and then it's mirrored at his house.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
Also,
Go ahead.
no, you.
I was just going to say, so at this point I was sufficiently confused because I didn't have all this knowledge.
She was confused and scared.
Yeah.
Know what was going on.
Yeah, I will say that shaman was the most modern looking shaman. Like, modernly dressed shaman I've ever seen.
He seemed like a scam, right? Like,
yeah, like, they show up, the dudes in a turtleneck and a blazer, and
yeah.
I'm
like expensive looking watch, and you're just like, he seems like a scam. I don't know.
are we sure this guy's legit?
Yeah.
He's got everything in his place that makes him look legit. But is he legit? Can I meet his private clients real quick?
Right.
They're all dead. I don't trust this man. But, oh my word. Yeah. Also, at one point, they go and meet with the priest. Like, the main guy, Zhanggu, like the dad, he goes in to talk to the deacon, to talk to the priest. And he's like, oh yeah, I heard I've heard dark rumors about the Japanese man. Like, he's a Buddhist monk. And I'm like,
yeah, I was like, is that the dark rumor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't realize Buddhism was dark.
Right. I didn't see it that way, but sure.
I mean, he is kind of a dark and like spooky character.
Right.
But Buddhist?
I know.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd. And so that's when I was saying that, like, it kind of ties back to, like, they were not, very welcoming of this man.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I have a note here that says chop off some limbs. So that motherfucking zombie version, the demon that went into the park guy, I'm like, just chop off a leg. Chop off some legs. Like, this guy clearly took a rake to the head.
And is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Make
wild.
him less noble.
Literally, yeah, they were so useless that entire time. It was driving me nuts. Like, fucking handle it. Who in the 2021 doesn't know what a zombie is? Handle it. Like,
I know.
Pull it together.
Remove something from his body.
God.
I mean, I feel like the rake was a good idea, but like
was?
once he's kind of like not phased by it, like let's come up with another plan.
Couldn't handle that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and whew, like I said, chop off a leg or two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to get around as easily. He'll be a legless zombie. While you don't want that around, you can move faster than it normally.
Yeah.
Normally.
Yeah.
But the Japanese man that is currently not the Japanese man, supposedly has Park Chun-jo, I don't know the guy's name. He's just like hanging off a ledge because he got chased.
Yeah.
I was like, that is some impressive arm strength.
Yeah.
Like core. Because I was like, the fuck? He just ghost out of here?
Yeah. And then he chases after the woman in white.
Yeah.
And then I guess he flies off the cliff.
Yeah. Which is confusing because I don't know. I wouldn't think she threw him off the cliff. Unless she thought he was the Japanese man.
Right.
Yeah. I don't really get that scene. All I know is that they then chuck him off the cliff. And that's when basically the father is like marked with his sin.
Yep.
Yeah, that's his official sin.
Yep.
Because isn't that when the shaman says what? Like the rat took the bait or something? Yep. Yeah.
And
that's that when I was like, oh my god, it's getting worse. Like, that was some ominous shit right there. The rat took the bait.
Dude, what about when the fucking shaman rolls up to the goddamn like compound area of their house? Mm-hmm. He just starts bleeding.
And vomiting because the woman in white. Yeah, that was
like,
wild.
What is going on?
Yeah, I was really confused by that because at that point they're trying to really sow the seed that she's the baddie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is he like puking and expelling blood everywhere? I guess maybe she had some sort of something up. I don't know.
I don't know.
I was really curious about that. That was really kind of like wouldn't just like a bad person do that? But like, I don't know.
Yeah. I know, unless there was like some sort of like ritual or something that she did that made him somehow, I don't know. And then he has like all the locusts, which is obviously very biblical too, that were like just a vision. I like how he noped the fuck out. Like he
was gone.
had that interaction with her and then he's like, I'm out.
Is the shaman being controlled by the Japanese man demon thing?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think he's being controlled by it in the sense of like actual control. I think it's
Yeah.
more of
Like
like
a
he's
fear
scared.
intimidation
Yeah.
control?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because like he comes back
I think the
eventually.
locust thing was the devil guy's way of turning him around and reminding him. I don't think it was her that did that.
Oh.
Because he stops
Yeah,
after
that
that
could
and
be.
realizes it was a vision and then turns around and starts heading back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, the deacon thought it was a good idea to go up and meet up with the Japanese man in his cave.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a poor choice.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck? Also, then he turns into a full-fledged demon.
Right. It's pretty great.
But does he? Or like he does, right? But like it's interesting to me because like the deacon has like clearly would well in theory should have a lot of faith, right? So like is he just seeing what he wants to see? You know what I mean?
Clearly, he can make people see shit.
Right. So I was just like, huh.
Right.
And then that was really creepy. And he basically, he basically repeats the Bible verse of like, I have flesh and blood. Like, I'm human, even though you look gnarly as shit. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And then it just gets kind of sad with the dad, I feel like, because the lady in white has him like stuck there and she has her little like
Wait for
spell
3 calls.
shit. Yeah. Of like, just wait till the rooster crows 3 times. And like, he makes it to 2.
Right.
And I was like, what? Like, what's the difference in just waiting 1 more, right? Like, even if you don't trust her, like, I don't know. That's where I was like, I don't know. Maybe you guys want to talk about it too. But I was like, I feel like you made it twice. There's 1 more. Even if she's full of shit, like, your family's probably already dead. So what's the harm in waiting like an extra couple minutes?
My thing is his internal dialogue was like, who's right? Who does he trust? And he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And he makes that last second decision because he's like, well, if I wait too long, they're dead. But if I go now, they're not. Or it's the other way around. And that's how I was still in the situation like, who's good? Like, I was trying to figure out.
Who's the good guy here?
Yeah, and I was like, and then as soon as he runs through it and the shit like dies
Dissolves.
or whatever, I was like, ah, fuck. I think he chose wrong. And he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, real quick, I want to talk about his daughter being able to do the weird exorcism shit with her body.
Mm-hmm.
She studied modern dance for 6 months before this movie just for those scenes.
Oh, nice.
Like,
so she could do like, what's it called? Contortionism.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, she did a good job.
For a child.
Yeah.
God damn.
Well, everybody that was wriggling like that did a good job. Guy that cracked his neck did a good job. I was sufficiently scarred.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting people to crawl on the ceiling at one point.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that. That's a non-starter for me.
Tim, could you imagine that with Sam here?
I would just feel like running around the house screaming, probably.
Woo!
But I will say that, like, I'm still a little bit confused because, so clearly he has the sin with him or whatever, right? And so when he walks through
carries sin.
the white woman's thing and shrivels up, like, that means, like, the demon is unleashed, right? But, like, by the time he gets there, like, I don't know, maybe it was just, like, how it wasn't shown appropriately, but, like,
how it's cut.
he would hear
the murder
because there was so much. You
it's
know
a lot
what I
of blood
mean?
for 2 people, right?
Well, I don't know. I find, like, would he have to watch it? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we were just spared from some of it, but if it really was the timing of the white woman's thing, then they didn't really die till he made it under the...
That's the theory.
Yeah, the, what am I call it? The sage or whatever.
Mm-hmm. The sage is sage. Is that why it's called sage?
I don't know if it was sage. I just made that up.
Oh. That's him. Clearly the shaman and the demon are in cahoots, right?
Clearly, yeah.
There was originally a deleted scene where the demon is sitting on a park bench and another family is on a bus bench, like waiting for the bus. And this little girl, he like offers this little girl some candy to try and get her to walk across the street and get candy with him. And then the mom has to run out and grab the little child.
Mm-hmm.
And then the shaman comes and picks him up in a car and they drive off.
Ugh.
And so the director was like, well, like, I like that scene a lot, but, I mean, it's really only there to fully explain, like, they're in cahoots.
Right.
Which I think you get from,
yeah.
the pictures and all of
That's
that.
That's why he removed that scene.
Yeah.
But it was kind of creepy watching him try and coerce a child.
I didn't watch the
Candy.
deleted scene.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
Yeah, I mean, he just had a creepy demeanor.
I mean,
for
the
most
whole
of the
movie is creepy, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I will tell you guys this. That this is Ari Aster's favorite horror film in the last decade. Do you know who that
Midsommar
is?
guy?
Yeah, that is the Midsommar director.
Yeah. I was saying about that shaman scene. It seems like something that would just plop right in one of his movies.
Tim, you've seen Hereditary, right?
Yes.
So people, they don't compare it to that movie, but they compare like the level of detail
Sure.
to that film.
Okay.
So,
Is there a lot of detail in this movie?
I mean, you read a 30-page dissertation.
Yeah.
I just mean like compared to other horror movies. I don't watch a lot of horror movies, so that was more
that's
for
a good
Tim, I guess.
Yeah. So Tim, is this a lot? Is it deeper than most horror films?
I would say slightly, yes. It had a better, like, most horror movies are kind of lazy with their twists. Very easy to tell apart from the main story or whatever. The twist happens immediately, or you know what the twist is going to be. And
or it's just a dude in a mask stabbing people.
Yeah, and this one had a very good double twist that you weren't sure about until they told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to be told. Otherwise, you're like, the fuck is happening?
Like, you could guess, and you could guess correctly. But I think there was a lot to it that either there could be more within the movie that we missed that told, more specifically that one is good, one is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's that cultural thing that we didn't notice, like stabbing the goddamn totem.
Yeah!
Like, the Guardian
that might
deity.
have tipped us off a bit, but
yeah.
But then you also would then you have three people instead of like how we probably saw it was the girl in white and then the shaman with the the demon dude, or like it was either two of them together. Yeah, I mean I think I saw it as like one way or the other. The shaman was one of the two, right?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like the shaman was like the servant of the dude.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of threw us off. But we probably would have known more. Like, hey, the shaman's the bad guy. But, yeah.
Yeah, they're just like minor details that you don't notice, like the other guy getting murdered.
Yeah.
And he also having the 1,000 knife collection at his house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and I thought at the beginning it does a very good job of like kind of just setting it up to be just like not random events, but it feels very like not like,
related.
Like 45 minutes in, it starts to take a turn into like, okay, yeah, this is all like.
Well, it's Hyojin.
Yeah, this is all
Hyojin
like a
is
possession thing. Like until that, I felt like there was a bunch of neighbors that were like dying, and like that, like yeah, you kind of had this guy in the woods that ate shit, but like you know what I mean? It was.
I mean, sometimes you just got a guy in the wood that eats stuff.
Yeah. Like, at that point, like, very on in the movie, I was like, all right, there's a guy in the woods that eats shit.
You guys just seem a little racist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't really get that.
Prejudice.
And then you got the naked lady, which is another element of, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I felt like there was a lot of good, just, like, general eeriness in the beginning until they, like, threaded it together.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sam, would you say the slogan for this movie should have been The Wailing? What is happening?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think even the resolve at the end, like, you know they're in cahoots, like, they clearly show that to you, but there's still that element of, like, what really was the lady in white? Because she's wearing all the clothes of, like, the victim.
Yep.
And the idea is that, like, that's part of her, like, saving them, right? But, like, I don't know, when I first ended the movie, I was like, why does she have all that shit with her? You know what I mean?
That seems sketch, bruh.
It seems sketch. But I think it's also because of that scene with the cliff. Like, that sowed a deep doubt in me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Tim?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any more notes?
I'm looking at them right now.
Nah.
Movie is brutal. Man, that's
Yes.
brutal.
Brutal.
That was rough.
Tim's slogan is brutal.
Yeah. It's
She's
true,
all
though.
sorts of fucked up.
I mean, yeah, I could see that.
Tim's running commentary for this film. Must have
It's a
been
zombie
great.
movie, and they keep falling. All sorts of stuff like that, you know. Lots of notes like that. I also wanted to point out, though, that one of my notes, the should have let him finish. What would have happened to the daughter if he had finished? What do you think? Because he was clearly torturing her while he was stabbing the totem and everything.
He was actually torturing the guardian deity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, shit, I read this. When he was killing the deity's protection against the girl, like, was diminishing, causing her more pain.
Yeah. So in theory, if he would have finished the thing, the demon would have been totally like unleashed, right?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
the protection would have been gone.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Also, why does he have, like, 6 people that work for him?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was interesting. All they did is like pick stuff up and move them, and then they just like stand there. Well, they were playing instruments.
Yeah. But that's tied back to the fact that later on you see the same shaman shit
Yeah.
with that one guy. And so they had finished their ritual in theory, right? And the demon still came, proving
Mhm.
that like his rituals aren't good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought they did a good job of like cutting that scene to where you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's very difficult to like catch everything.
Yeah, because, like, the Japanese man inevitably is not connected to that scene directly.
Yeah, he's just doing his own thing.
Yeah. While the deity is, like, doing something to him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Woo!
It's wild.
Tough.
Was that your last note, Tim?
Yep.
Alright. I'll get to the cast. I don't really recognize many of these movies, but I figured we'll still go through
Yeah.
them. Jong-gu, the father, is played by Kwak Do-won. He is in a movie called The Attorney, Ghost, and The Man from Nowhere. The Japanese man is played by Jun Kunimura, and he's in Kill Bill Volume 1.
There you go.
He plays like Boss Hanaka or something. I've never seen it, so
Me neither.
that's kind of cool. He's also been in Kate and Audition. Il Guang was the shaman.
Mm-hmm.
He's played by Jung Min Hwang. He's in A Bittersweet Life, New World, and then, I shit you not, this is the name of this movie, Road Movie.
Nice. That one
All
sounds
right.
good.
The Mysterious Woman is played by Woo Hee. Love that name. Chun. And then she's in Hong Gong-ju, Sunny, and then she's in Mother by Bong.
Oh.
That was an interesting tip. It just came out of nowhere. Damn. But the director, if you liked this film, you can jot down his name is Na Hong Jin. He did The Chaser, The Yellow Sea, and Sweat. So I heard The Chaser is kind of crazy like this.
Gotcha.
This movie won 34 awards,
Dang.
and it was nominated for 56 others.
Dang.
The critics give it a 99%.
Holy shit.
Audience gave it an 82%. IMDb with a 7.5 out of 10, and Google with an 85%. Now, I already know where Sam's going to land. So, Tim, I'm going to ask you, are you going to flip this on?
Oh man, I did enjoy this movie a lot. It was certainly different, but I don't know if it's just me. It didn't feel like a horror to me. It felt more like a thriller mystery, but with like some gory shit going on.
Okay.
So in that aspect, it kind of missed for me. But I'm still gonna flip it on.
Okay.
I did very much enjoy this movie. And as far as branching out, I know people don't like watching just foreign films and having to read in general.
Yeah. That is
And I'm
true.
also a victim, or not a victim. I mean, God, that was a stupid word. An ignorant person, I guess, and I don't speak more than one language. Not that I would learn Korean as my second language right away. I think knowing many languages would be very cool, but my mental capacity probably doesn't call for that. So, therefore, I like subtitles. It doesn't bother me.
You do subtitles on your normal TV shows, though, right?
Yeah, I will turn
Or is
them
that
all
not
the
yet?
time for just normal stuff if I want to listen to things on low
Yeah.
volume. Or just sometimes nowadays, I don't think I have bad hearing, but I swear things are like all about like weird accents or like just talking weird and like you'll miss a word here and there, and it really drives me nuts when I like have to form the sentence in my brain other than just hearing it because I'm watching something purely for entertainment like that. So
Or you're watching a Christopher Nolan film.
Yes,
and it's
exactly.
Just bombing too loud.
God.
And you're like,
And they're whispering.
Yeah,
What
they're
did you
whispering and
say?
everything else is super loud. Ay, ay, ay.
That's 100% how Tenet is.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
But yeah. I would. So here's my thing is. So I disagree with Tim here. I think it is a horror film because I was up at 1:30 a.m., 2:30 a.m., 3 a.m. Helping Sam go back to sleep. But here's the difference is, do you think Paranormal Activity is a horror film?
Yes.
Okay, see, that's also a possession film, so that one also
Right,
made
but they have
Sam wear
different
brown pants.
feels. But
Yeah,
I
they
would
do,
tell
they
you
do.
that in the time that movie came out, that to me was a hands down horror movie. That's the one. That's the type of movie where I can put myself in their shoes, like, and actually feel like what the fuck's going on. Like, I went to the theaters and watched that because, well, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, we have.
And it was just imagine
You're
a
in the
theater
credits.
packed full of college kids and everybody's freaking the fuck out. It's great. It was so good. It was so good. Yeah, that one actually like physically freaked me out. And my buddy slept in my room and stuff like that night. Not, I mean, I
feel like
was
I'm
fine.
in the minority on that one.
But he came in and was like, dude, I can't sleep. I was like, that's fine. I had a futon. He slept on my futon. And I was like, all right, see ya.
Dude, that's what happened with my friends in the movie The Fourth Kind. They all went out and saw it. I was like, I didn't really want to see it. So they go out and see it. And then they were going to go out drinking afterwards. But one guy was like, I can't. Nope, I can't do that tonight. Adam, do you mind if I just hang out here? He ended up sleeping on my floor and we watched Reno 911, the movie.
Nice.
He's like, I just need something happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. But because I value sleep some days, I think I will flip it off. I liked Midsummer. If I'm comparing like horror films, I know Midsummer's not necessarily super horror-y either. But I liked Midsummer better. And,
Yeah.
just because I think it freaked Sam out a little bit less. And I don't know. Although I kind of do want to see it one more time. I will say that. It's like I'm so close to flipping it on. Just because like I read all this shit on it and I'm like, I wonder how I'd like it if I wasn't writing stuff down the whole time. Could I catch all the details?
Yeah.
But after a second time, I don't know if I'm turning it on a third.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, so Sam, what are you doing?
I thought it was a good movie in the fact that it had my attention and I was sufficiently freaked out.
Was this a horror film to you?
It was to me. But I
Anything
have an
with demons.
overactive imagination at night, so it's not hard to scare me.
Anything
And
with
so-
demons too.
Yeah, that too.
That's
like any
understandable.
extra
That
like
damn Catholic upbringing.
yeah, any extra spooky ghouls. But anywho, no, it had my attention and I thought that like after reading like I read a lot about it, clearly. Like I was very interested in it. And after reading it, I almost want to flip it on to watch the breadcrumbs come together, but then part of me thinks that like there are purposeful holes in this movie. And so like I don't know how much of a breadcrumb effect I would get. But anywho, fuck that shit. I'm not flipping it on again, even if I wanted to look for breadcrumbs, because I value my sleep.
I value my sleep.
Yeah.
So
But it was good, especially if it's your cup
was
of
a
tea, I
solid
feel
film.
like.
I think it was well done.
Definitely.
So it's weird to say like it's a good film. I liked this film. I enjoyed it, but I would not flip it on because I'm good.
I mean, that's basically how I was with Midsummer. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
That's
it was
fair.
a solid film, but no thank you. Again.
Yeah, so on to next week. We're going to spin.
All right.
Let's see what we're going to get. Let's see what Tim's going to get. Survey says, number one answer on the board, AI suggestions.
Oh,
Whoa.
no. I don't want to
So-
watch another.
My guess is that Tim's going to somehow end up with a Korean action film.
I just have a feeling.
Yeah. Good feeling
Could
about
be.
that one. But anyways, what is the terrible pun? We'll do that terrible pun, Sam.
What terrible film.
What happens when an exorcist runs out of money?
You get repossessed?
His house gets repossessed.
Yeah.
Ba-dum.